And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, and it is National Lager Day, not logging.
All right.
Lager, which you're like, I'm going to go home and have a beer.
Yes, that sounds good.
All right, I'll tell you about that in just a bit.
All right, I like that one. And on our show today, we're going to bring you a doctor that is with Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Also, Stuart Spencer is here from Advanced Ear Care. And Tea Party Sentinels is scheduled to be here as well. And we're going to bring you a segment with the old pros. Miranda, right?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
She's lovely. All right, so we've got one meeting today, and that is the United Board meeting, which will be in the boardroom at 9:30, and that, of course, will be televised immediately after our morning news broadcast of This Day. All right, so National Lager Day. Lagers are distinguished from other beers as using a cold conditioning process. The types of yeast used are referred to as bottom fermenting yeast, or yeast that can develop at colder temperatures. If you look at the next slide, it actually shows the difference. So you can see the yeast on the top is ales and the yeast on the bottom is the lagers. In the 19th century, prior to the advent of refrigeration, German brewers would dig cellars for lagering and fill them with ice from nearby lakes and rivers, which would cool the beer during the summer months. To further protect the cellars from the summer heat, they would plant chestnut trees, which have spreading, dense canopies, but shallow roots, which would not intrude on the caverns. The practice of serving beer at these sites evolved in the modern beer gardens. So as you can see, there's lots of trees in the background. The delicious results are described as crisp and refreshing. It is no wonder that this method caught on and produced a wide variety of brews synonymous with regional and national brands. Well-known brands include Miller, Stella Artois, Beck's, Corona, Kirin, Heineken, and a lot more, as you can see. Budweiser, Miller, Coors, the list goes on. With so many choices from pale, amber, or dark, not to mention the many craft varieties, there are endless possibilities for your enjoyment. Now, the German word Lagerbier referred to all types of bottom fermented cool conditioned beer in normal strengths. However, now in Germany, it mainly refers to beers in southern Germany. Now, Ken, I'm sure you have a favorite beer. Which one would it be?
You know what? It just depends kind of what time of the year it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm cheap, I'll be honest with you. I buy Trader Joe's most of the time. I like, as far as Blue Moon, which is pretty good, made by Coors, of course. And I do like this time of the year. I love some darker beers I think they're really good. So there you go.
Lots to choose from.
Yeah, Guinness, which is actually, believe it or not, a lager. People think it's an ale.
Yeah.
It's not. I like it this time of the year. So there you go. All right, now our weather. Nice and sunny this morning. If you're watching us in the morning, we're going to start to get some increasing clouds coming in. Really, that's because of a system that's way, way, way to the north to us. We're talking Northern California, but it's pushing some clouds down here. It's still going to be nice and relatively warm compared to what it was last week. But we're going to see some evening clouds coming in, scattered clouds tomorrow, maybe a little bit on Thursday. And we're going to get some mild offshore breezes on Thursday. And then again, by the way, next week, Monday and Tuesday. One of those days right now, it's looking like we'll get some stronger Santa Ana winds coming back, but only for maybe a day or so. Then, just sunshine coming up. As I said, Thursday, I think we could have some morning clouds. We'll see about that, but the breeze will get those out of here. And then look at the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all going to be right around the 71, 72 degree mark. So nice weather. Let's take a look around Orange County today and beyond. Not too much different than yesterday, pretty much the same, and that's going to be the story today and tomorrow. We'll start to see those inch up a bit as we get to Friday. But overall, just some beautiful weather, kind of cool and crisp out there. And as I said, we could get some clouds coming in this evening, but shouldn't be too bad at all. All right, there you have it. Look at that. Isn't that great? All that snow on top of the mountains there. We'll be back in just a moment.
25 years, we have worked hard to make Brilliant Smile the premier dental office in Laguna Woods. We take the extra time to understand our patients' special needs and always perform the highest quality dental work at affordable prices in a relaxing and friendly environment. There is no need to refer our patients to anybody else. We perform everything from cleaning all the way to the implant and sinus surgeries all under one roof. Stop in or call and experience the Brilliant Smile difference.
Now at LA Carpet and More, you can transform your kitchen and bath and get 50% off. Plus, get 5 years 0% financing. Call 800-684-4100 for an appointment or visit one of our closest showrooms.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Now at LA Carpet and More, you can transform your kitchen and bath and get 50% off. Plus, get 5 years 0% financing. Call 800-684-4100 for an appointment or visit one of our closest showrooms.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there. But some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
Living and learning in.
I'm 51 years old and I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. Before the surgery, I was struggling to breathe. I was missing out a lot on playing with my son. I decided to go to Hoag from Nevada to have my mitral valve repair because the surgeons there are excellent.
My personal approach to patient care is really taking care of a patient as if they were a member of my family.
After the surgery, I can chase him and run around and play with him as much as he wants. It's like a miracle. It's like this patient made it through the toughest time in their life, and it's an awesome feeling.
The feeling to see these patients recover, especially when they're critically ill like that, it's just the best feeling in the world.
We wanted this to be one of the top cardiovascular centers in the region, the state, the nation, and to be recognized for that. We've achieved that.
If I had to go back and make the same choice, I would choose Hoag again. They treated me like family. This changed my life, and now I get to be with my son.
Welcome back. Well, I have Hoag Orthopedic Institute here, and we have a physician who actually is working on neck and knee injuries, and he used to be a pro football player. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you do? I think I actually said it wrong.
It's okay. I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Orthopedic
so,
surgeon.
you know, I do take care of the, all the musculoskeletal injuries, but I am a specialist in foot and ankle.
Foot and ankle.
So I'm
Okay,
fellowship
sorry about
trained in foot and ankle.
Okay, well, excellent. So let's talk about a little bit about your career and why you decided to study in this field.
So, so my career, 7 years in NFL, cut short by injury, but I always had aspirations to be a physician. And I found that what kept me going after football was a passion for medicine. And so I went into medical school and then orthopedic surgery and found my way into foot and ankle, because foot and ankle, everybody has a foot problem. Right. And so I see kids and I see adults and people with deformity and athletes and, all walks of life. And so foot and ankle became, something I really gravitated towards.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about, interestingly, there is arthritis in the midfoot, which I've never heard of.
Yes. So you have to first define what the midfoot is.
Okay.
And it's the connection between the hind foot, we call the ankle, and the heel bone and the toes. And the midfoot is important because it is a lever arm, and it's responsible for being supple and allowing your foot to kind of accommodate uneven ground, but then being rigid and allowing you to platform and to do things like jump and to run. So the midfoot is very important in human gait, essentially.
Okay, so obviously runners.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that they have if they have this.
So typically midfoot pain happens when you are weight bearing, when you are running, you're on your toes, you're putting stress across the arch of your foot, and most patients have pain on the top of their foot. Okay. They have pain that is associated with sometimes instability with loss of the arch of the foot. And so we see that a lot with runners, but even as we get older, we just see that with regular osteoarthritis, just wear and tear of the joints as the joints start to break down in the foot.
Okay, so obviously we have a community where they're a little bit older,
Right.
and like you said, they're probably experiencing a lot of this. What are some of the symptoms? Is it, like you said, instability? Is it a lot of pain?
It's typically pain. I think the presenting symptom is typically pain, and most patients located at the top of the foot, and it occurs when they're weight bearing, and it can keep them up at night, but and they may often notice deformity with loss of the arch, so your arch can be decreased.
Home remedies? Is there such a thing that you can do before you go to the doctor?
The main thing is decreasing the load across the foot. So that would be weight loss. That would be finding shoes that aren't as flexible, and sometimes replace the bridge that was lost through the arthritis. So a stiffer shoe and not a flexible shoe helps you, ambulate and move throughout the day.
So what about having the inserts, those inserts like that are custom made?
Yeah. Inserts are great, but you should talk to your orthopedic surgeon about what the proper type of insert is. There are lots of inserts out there. And ones for midfoot arthritis help support the midfoot. It's not just arch support. It's actually, they're stiff and they are cushioned in areas that support the midfoot.
Okay, all right, perfect. Technology today, what are some of the things that we're actually looking at today and what you maybe see down the future?
So a lot of the technology as a foot and ankle surgeon, for us, revolves around biologics and with regards to surgery. We hear about things like, stem cells and PRP and things like that. These are very cutting edge things that sometimes we use to help healing, whether it be tendon repair, ligament, or fusion. Those are some of the more advanced, but really for the non-operative things, it's the material science, right? Our shoes, the materials that we use for our shoes and their form and their function have all improved and are more over the counter now. So there are great options to help treat these non-operatively. And you just have to talk to the right person.
So let's say someone comes to you and they have this particular injury or any type of injury in the foot. What would be some of the first things that you would do for them?
So first, it starts with a great history and a good physical exam and really pinpointing where your symptoms are. Because like I said, there are over 26 bones and 33 joints in the foot, and over half of those are involved in the midfoot. And it's more complex than you think. So really isolating out through my exam and through some imaging, typically just plain x-ray, I can figure out which part of the midfoot needs the support. And then, I typically start with things, like I said, offload, right? We start with weight loss, we start with stretching of the calf, right? Things that put pressure on the foot.
Right.
And then we go from there. And then it's a slow process. I mean, it's arthritis isn't something that typically happens right away. It's something that osteoarthritis happens over years, many years.
Right. So you're saying that, so I guess for any athlete, I'm a tennis player and
Sure.
the calves are constantly tight. So
Right.
any type of exercise is going to cause that particular type of tightening. So
some people are born naturally with a tight calf muscle.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. And so there are home stretches you can do, physical therapy, and then sometimes in very extreme circumstances, surgery is indicated to kind of help stretch things out and relieve the pressure on your foot.
So tell me a little bit about, so you played football for a while, and you also suffered a particular injury as well. And then I know that you guys treat the Chargers. So tell me, I mean, obviously it's just football. What are some of the other folks that you get in there that are other sports, other types of sports?
Oh, I mean, to be honest, badminton.
Badminton?
Badminton, tennis, right? Things that require a quick change of direction. Right? And we see a lot of Achilles tendon, pain and degeneration as we get older. And we know now that degenerative tendons lead to rupture. So I like to get to these patients early when they're starting to have pain and swelling in the posterior ankle, and get them involved in appropriate non-operative care to hopefully mitigate that. The other thing is plantar fasciitis. A lot of people get pain, and you ask me where the pain is with midfoot arthritis. It's on the top of the foot, but if you told me the pain was on the bottom of the foot, that increases my differential, and I'm starting to think of other things that that support the foot on the plantar aspect, which is the plantar fascia. And it can be disabling. And all my patients, I don't minimize them. I listen to them. We have a great conversation about where their symptoms start and what makes them better and worse, and come up with a plan together.
What is orthopedic, Hoag Orthopedic do differently than maybe some other places?
This is my first, I've been with Hoag now for a few months, and I can just say that they're excellent from top to bottom. And not just with the orthopedic, the physicians, but the entire staff, right? And that's what you want. Taking care of the entire patient means that, you have a good experience from the time you walk in to the waiting room, to your interaction with the physician assistants and the medical assistants, and then with the physician and all the technology around, top notch.
Excellent.
And I've been to a lot of different places. I finished my fellowship at Harvard. I graduated from UCSF, UC San Francisco, and I've been to a lot of great institutions, and Hoag is one of the best.
Well, gosh, welcome. Only 4 months. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the information. I appreciate it. And one last thing, just real quick. If you were to tell our audience one thing that they should do to prevent these types of injuries, what would it be?
Get the right shoes.
Get the right shoes.
Get the right shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in support. And a lot of these shoes out here are, minimally, they don't have much support. They're all meant to conform and be really floppy. And I think that's one of the worst things you can do for a foot that's, had some wear and tear, like mine.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And if you want additional information about what we just talked about, you can go to HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. We'll be right back.
Your body is made for work, play, and adventure. All the things that make life amazing. But when pain gets in the way, turn to Hoag Orthopedic Institute to get you back to doing the things you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we're experts at getting you out of pain and back to golf, running, or yoga. Whatever makes you, you.
Holiday season is near, and Diane's Hallmark is your one-stop shop for the special people in your life. We have beautiful, unique gifts and decorations, women's clothing, religious items, cards, of course, and a wide selection of amazing, fun items you must see to believe. Come see why so many of your neighbors come to Diane's Hallmark for their holiday needs. Diane's Hallmark is close by in Laguna Niguel. Stop in to see our broad selection of year-round and seasonal gifts and cards.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Your attention. Please take down this number. Did you know that adults with untreated hearing loss experience a 30 to 40% faster decline in cognitive abilities and are more likely to develop dementia? Those with a mild hearing loss are 3 times more likely to have a history of falling. An annual hearing screening is urgent for memory care to help prevent cognitive decline and thus delay the onset of dementia. Free hearing checkups are now being offered free of charge. If you have not had an annual hearing exam, please take advantage of this free opportunity. If hearing loss is detected, hearing aids will be available to try for 10 days. Evaluations only take 30 minutes, but you must call for an appointment. Hearing screening is urgent for memory care. Please take preventive action. Call now.
Well, with me right now is Stuart Spencer of Advanced Ear Care. We always like to have Stuart here, and we're both kind of dressed for the holidays. You got your nice red shirt on.
You bet. I'm ready.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here.
It is, you know, time of the year where we were talking outside there, where a lot of gatherings are going on, and I think people that have some hearing loss, you really can notice it even more this time of year, right? When you've got all these different events and stuff.
You know, everybody gets busy this time of year,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, a lot of family comes in from out of town. You know, a lot of family gatherings, whether it's, well, just recently, you know, Thanksgiving. You know, we had a lot of people gather, you know, had a lot of conversations after that. You know, we've just had an amazing 30-day stretch here where we have helped so many people to hear better. It's been like triple any other month of any other year we've ever had. And so, you know, people are telling their friends and family, you know, we're helping people with these new technologies. I mean, so when people gather, that's when they notice it, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, they're struggling, you know, and the family members notice they're struggling a little bit more. So sometimes it's the son and daughter that come in from out of town and say, Mom, you know, I think you need a little more help than, you know, what you have.
Right,
you know?
right.
And so, you know, we pick it up from there, and it's been really successful. So, yeah, you're right. You know,
Yeah.
people getting together, it's an important thing.
Well, you know, Stuart, I've been telling him for a couple of years now that we're hoping my father-in-law would finally get hearing aids. Now, he lives out in Murrieta, so he got him out there, but he did finally get him before Thanksgiving, and
well,
you know,
what a difference.
What
right?
a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
And he could hear fairly well, but again, in the crowds and certain
That's
frequencies and things like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I always tell people, you know, 3 things with hearing loss that are so interesting. You know, is 1, it's invisible.
Yeah.
2, it's painless. And 3, it's so gradual.
Yeah.
Those people with hearing loss think they hear normal. You know, and then you show them the difference. They're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have really done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't know the difference. You know, then they're able to see it like your father-in-law. It's like, hey, this is pretty nice, you know?
You know, the other thing we were talking about is, you know, you and I are probably of the era of rock concerts and things like that.
Sure.
They still go on, of course, but I think people are a little more cognizant of hearing. However, we were affected by that, you know, going to see all those...
Yeah, rock and roll.
Elton John and all those people. But now, younger kids are growing up at a very early age with ear pods.
Yeah.
And, you know, other ones, even the more advanced headphones like Beats and stuff like that that can produce
Wireless.
incredible sounds, but at incredible volume.
Yep, and a cost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so teen hearing loss is way up. You know, and it's not even like really the loudness level. I mean, that's part of it, but it's the time, you know, the length of time they're wearing those
Yeah.
things. You know, they're listening to them for hours a day. You know, they're just hammering their hearing.
Yeah.
You know, so teen hearing loss is way up. So, you know, we see people younger all the time now from our era because of rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of other things. I mean, you know, whether it's Vietnam or, you know, the wars or just loud noise exposure
Right.
in other areas.
Is it reversible? In other words, let's say a teen has some hearing loss, and is it something that, you know, there's a lot of things that we may do in life that if we stop doing it, it can be reversible.
Yeah.
Like somebody
No,
who smoked for years and
right.
stopped. And,
So a sensory neural loss isn't. You know,
Yeah.
you lose that hearing, it's gone.
Okay.
And those little hair cells die. You know, they're not regrow. You can't grow them back.
all right, so that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
All right,
So, you know,
let's-
I mean, just along that line,
Yeah.
just real quickly, you know, now, I mean, how many babies do you see with the earmuffs on when you go
That's
to
right.
venues, right?
That's
you
right.
Never saw
You
that
never saw
before.
that.
Now they're really protecting their hearing right from those young ages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, more to the point, if, you know, everybody's a little more cognizant of it today, just those teens are hard to convince, you know, with anything, but
Yeah.
also with protecting their hearing.
Well, I even know when my daughter was younger, and we'd take her to a movie theater, you know, particularly maybe a loud movie, she would put stuff in her ears, you know, earplugs, and she had tubes in her ears when she was like 2 to 3 or whatever it was. So her ears became more sensitive.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even today, sometimes we go somewhere and she'll
cover up
her a little bit. All right, now, last month you had a wonderful event called the Lunch and Learn, and I heard it just went well.
Yeah, you know, we had, it was very successful. We had a Lunch and Learn over here. We were very graciously hosted by Geneva Presbyterian Church. And boy, just kudos to them. What a wonderful, wonderful, warm, and very efficient staff they have. They've got such a nice venue there. It just really dovetailed into exactly what we wanted to do for the community, which was talk to them about hearing loss and the cognitive kind of impairments that people can have if they don't stimulate their hearing once that they've noticed they've had hearing loss. So we had brought in a speaker from out of town that's kind of a specialist on cognitive hearing loss and cognitive issues with hearing loss. And so he spoke. You know, we had about 50 people there, and it was just a great venue. We had a great lunch, provided with some food there that we provided, and a lot of great information. Caption call came. And I think we ended up providing about 30 telephones to people that came that had hearing loss. They came
Very
over,
nice.
we tested them, certified them, and then we helped a lot of other people for the first time with some hearing devices, and it was just really successful, and it was just a great event for all of us, and it was fun to be part of that and work with Geneva Presbyterian Church there.
Yeah, that I'm glad to hear that went well. You know, you mentioned the speaker that talked about the cognitive effects of hearing, and we've talked about this before. It's not as though that people with mild hearing loss or maybe a bit advanced, they're hearing sounds, they're hearing, but they're not understanding.
Yeah,
and there's the difference.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I always tell, patients, they come in, they're sitting talking over a table like this, like, I hear you fine. Why on earth would I need a hearing aid? You know? And so they can hear like a glass break 3 blocks away, but they can't hear 3 feet across the table in a restaurant, right? And so they hear, but they don't understand the words, and it's just part of their hearing is missing. But the volume is there. They can hear their wife talk to them from down the hall. They have no idea what she's saying.
Yeah.
So they've got to come in the room, look at them, talk to them. So we walk people through that whole process from a short video we show them right up front.
Yeah.
So they kind of understand what's happening, because a lot of people just don't get it.
Right.
And it's not easy. It's kind of a complicated concept. So we walk them through all the different steps, a total pathway. And by the end of that visit, they're pretty well informed. They feel really comfortable about making a decision, one way or the other with their hearing. So, it is important to realize all those different issues.
And you're right, it sneaks up on you. I think, when you turn a certain age and you have to start wearing reading glasses or something, you notice it right away.
Right away, that's right.
And so you start to do something about it, and maybe later on get contacts, whatever it might be. But hearing loss, as you said, is so gradual.
Boy, I tell you,
most of the time it's gradual.
Most of the time it is gradual. And, people typically wait 7 to 10 years when they realize they have loss to when they do something about it. Because let's face it, you get by, right?
Yeah.
I mean, deaf people get by. So, you have hearing loss, you do get by.
Yeah.
But, boy, to the spouse's detriment, the TV volume's up, they're repeating all the time, everybody's accommodating their hearing, and if they just corrected it, it'd be so much easier for them. And of course, once we do it, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this so long ago, because they just feel more comfortable and confident.
And the technology is getting so much better.
It's so much better. We're seeing, we have a data log on hearing aids. We can see how people are using them and how they're changing, the different programs, how they're affecting volume. More people are coming in, leaving it on their main program. They're just putting them on, wearing them, and hearing better.
Yeah.
These nanotechnologies are fast, smart, sharp. They're really working well. So the technologies today do the heavy lifting, so people don't have to sit there and fiddle with everything to try to hear well. They just hear well all the time. I wear mine, on that normal level like 95% of the time. If I go to a Ducks game or a loud restaurant, or I was at a church party last night, I'll flip it over to the restaurant mode to reduce the background noise. But, I hardly ever touch them. I just put them on and wear them and hear better. So, a lot of our clientele are, over 70, they're a little afraid of technology, or they really don't want to deal with it at all.
Right, yeah.
With these, you don't have to do something like that.
Now, what about the ones, I know there's some that you don't need to change the batteries.
Yeah, those are so popular. They're almost in every model today. They've become so popular. We have people with, arthritic problems or neuropathy or just whatever it is, vision issues. Taking those little tabs off those batteries is a challenge for me, right? So the rechargeable hearing aids, you take them off, you put them on a charger, it just snaps right in.
Do they work pretty well?
They work great, and the cells in them are real reliable today. So they go for about 3.5 days, although we have people charge them every night. But if you did forget, it would go the next day as well. And just put them on. It's incredible technology. People like it a lot. Simple, right?
Yeah.
Simple's good.
Well, if somebody wants to come by and get their ears checked, they can
always give us a call.
Give you a call, and You give kind of a little consultation and...
Yep, we'll walk them through the whole pathway.
Yeah.
There's no charge for the exam, so that way they can find out where they're at. We have a lot of people that come in, just want to know where they're at. We take a good 20, 25 minutes with them, and they have perfect hearing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's great. We have a baseline. We tell them to come back about a year or two, and we'll just track it. Some people are on the edge, so it's important for them to come back a little faster. But not everybody has loss that comes in, and that's good.
Very good.
That's what we like to see.
All right. Hey, Merry Christmas to you.
Man.
Happy
Yeah,
New Year,
thank you.
because
Thank you.
I doubt I'll see you beforehand.
Right. Probably
Yeah.
not. But you're always welcome.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime.
I'd like that.
All right, Advanced Ear Care, they're right over here at the, is it Willow Tree? I always forget the name of it.
Willow Tree Shopping.
Yes, over by Aldi and those areas. And Stuart's been serving this community for 30 years?
37 years.
All right,
Can you
wow.
believe that? Wow, is right.
Yeah, so he knows it very well. All right, we'll be back.
At the Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback, you will always find a friendly face to guide you through your annual mammogram visit. Our staff, dedicated subspecialist breast radiologists, knowledge, and innovative technology await your visit to our center. With the Laguna Woods shuttle service right at our sidewalk, this convenient location offers you quick access for your appointment. You can expect nothing but the best for all your breast health needs at Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback.
Omni Golf is accepting golfers for their beta demo program. You can be one of the first to try the only golf clubs made using true nanotechnology, the Omni Raider Golf Set. Receive a custom-fitted full set of Omni Raiders to demo for 60 days at no net cost to you. Just fill out a survey and tell us how you like the clubs at the end of your 60-day demo, and you keep the driver. So call 800-OMNI-150 for details. That's 800-666-4150. Don't wait. Call 800-666-4150 now.
Welcome back. We have Miranda McPhee, who is here on behalf of the Old Pros, and we were just going over their latest adventure on the Spotify here on my phone, and it is the Old Pros Radio Hour.
Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
We went live a couple of weeks ago. We've got a series of podcasts. We've got 7 up there now. So,
Right.
and every Friday we put up a new one. So there's another one coming up tomorrow.
Right.
And these are original stories written by people who live in the woods. And we record them at the video club. We've got a little sound booth there they built for us. So it's in partnership with the video club.
Yes.
And then we broadcast them. And you can access them either as a podcast on your phone.
Yes.
Or you can just go to like internet radio, you can go to the website and just click on it and read it, because not everybody has a smartphone.
Right.
So you have a choice as to when and where you read it.
The #1 choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65.
Latest adventure on the Spotify here on my phone, and it is the Old Pros Radio Hour.
Yes.
Well, tell me about it.
We went live a couple of weeks ago. We've got a series of podcasts. We've got 7 up there now. So,
Right.
and every Friday we put up a new one. So there's another one coming up tomorrow.
Right.
And these are original stories written by people who live in the woods. And we record them at the video club. We've got a little sound booth there they built for us. So it's in partnership with the video club.
Yes.
And then we broadcast them. And you can access them either as a podcast on your phone.
Yes.
Or you can just go to like internet radio, you can go to the website and just click on it and read it, because not everybody has a smartphone.
Right.
So you have a choice as to when and where you read it. And we've had hundreds of people, hundreds of listens so far. really everywhere. I mean, we've got, my nephew in London listening.
isn't
We've
that
got somebody in
fun?
India listening. We've got people in Israel who've logged in. So it's really interesting to see some of these statistics starting to show. I mean, we're
Yes.
only a couple of weeks in, so it takes a while of, hey, have you heard?
Right.
And as we bring on more authors' stories and more readers, there'll be a lot of word of mouth, I think. We do have flyers out, but it's very much a, have you heard this story?
Okay. How many people are participating in the radio program?
Quite a lot. We have a core team of the producers. We have to find the material and put that together and create the podcast. And then we have every Saturday about 5 of us meet in the video club with the director and the recording, and then it goes into the editing process. So that may be somebody else or one of the team.
Right.
And then it comes through that whole cycle. And Bill Hemberger is the host on it, so he's the voice that you hear, and he puts the podcast together. So it's quite a team.
Wow, that is awesome. And then how many people at one time are in the booth recording? Is it
2?
Only 2.
It's a very small. It's a small.
Yeah,
booth.
it's a pretty small booth. So I'm imagining you can't fit too many. Yeah.
Cozy. Generally, it's 1, but we can deal with 2, but they have to be standing up.
Is it in character, or how does that work?
Well, it's reading a story. So sometimes you might be reading a story with no dialogue, but then we've had a couple of stories where there have been different characters coming in, and we use actors who can characterize the voices and play the old woman or the young child or the Westerner. So we've got Midwestern accents, because you never know what the story is going to be, and there's such a variety.
Okay.
We have everything from Brett Halsey talking about some of the anecdotes when he was a movie star. And we've got some humorous life tales, and then we've got some fiction from the Midwest. Tomorrow's stories are 2 set in Mexico. And it's just really interesting to listen to. We don't close the door on pretty much any subject other than say it's PG rated.
Right.
And so we don't know always what we're going to get. So we're starting to get a lot of interesting stories coming in. And I think the more people listen, the more they'll go, oh, I've got a story that
that
like
would be
that.
fun. Sure.
And we have one series called Famous Acquaintances, because in a village this size, people have known people.
Of course.
Somebody went to college with Barbara Streisand. Somebody has met Jonathan Winters, and so you've got a whole bunch of these. And when people start to listen, they'll say, oh, I met so-and-so, I have a story. And our answer is, we'd love to hear it. Please write it down.
That is awesome. So how is it that people can send in a story? How does that work?
So our website is ocoldpros.org.
Okay.
And on the front page, there's a blue Old Pros Radio Hour logo.
Okay.
And if you click on that, it will take you to the whole page, which gives you the criteria, tells you where to send them.
Okay.
My telephone number is on that page if you've got any questions, the email address, so everything is there.
Okay, that is so exciting.
And I think we would like to encourage people, people often say, I don't know if it's any good. Well, if it's good enough for you to tell someone, we'd love to hear it too.
Yeah,
and we will use as many as we can.
Well, pretty soon you guys are going to have to do a podcast daily, because you're going to have a lot of stories.
Well, we're hoping for February. We'd like to make the month of romance.
Oh, fun.
And the Old Pros has put on Love is in the Air on the main stage. So we're going to bring some of that concept to the podcast.
Good.
And one of the things that we would like to know from the audience is, how did you meet your spouse?
Sure.
Do you have an entertaining story to tell? And it doesn't have to be funny, but it has to have to catch somebody's interest.
Sure.
It's that sort of, when you sit around a dinner table, oh, I've got a great story to tell.
Right.
We want those.
Oh, that is great. Now, you can find the Old Pros Radio Hour, and you said it's an Apple podcast.
Yes.
Okay, or you can go to Google Podcast or Spotify.
Yes.
Now, you told me that you have a tutorial somewhere. Is that on your website?
Well, the last time Sheila was on here with Ken was showing people how to download it on the podcast. So we took that clip and we've put it up by the logo on our site. So
perfect.
It walks you through.
Okay.
But if you don't have a smartphone, then go to our Buzzsprout site, which is our podcast.
Oh, gotcha.
Host.
Okay.
And
all right.
It just looked like a regular website, and you can click on it. It looks just like iTunes.
Okay, yes, got it. Just like they show there. So perfect.
Yes.
Okay, and that would be the ocoldpros.org for that information.
It all comes back to that blue icon. If you see that.
Good. No, I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. Now, you have an overview of everything you guys are doing for the whole year. So let's just briefly go through each one, and you can kind of tell us maybe the first few months of what's going on.
So this year we're actually providing, we're not dark in July and August, we usually are, so we got entertainment going on 12 months.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So yes, you get the full thing for the membership, and for all the club meetings, obviously it's included in the membership of $20 a year. We're starting in January with T.S. Eliot's Old Possum Spoke, Practical Cats, which was the inspiration for Cats the Musical and Cats the Movie.
Oh, that's
so,
great.
Obviously Cats is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Right.
And so that'll be fun. That's actually being presented by the board.
Oh.
So yes, you'll find all of us doing, having some fun with that. So that'll be a really nice event to kick off the year. And then February is African American History Month. So we're doing, it says an interview with Maya Angelou. If you like, it's a reenacted interview.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. The next one in March is a comedy, An Actor's Nightmare, by Christopher Drang. And that's about, I think it's an accountant who gets mistaken for the understudy and then has to go on and play the part, but he doesn't know the lines. So,
okay.
And going forwards, we've got things like May, Oscar, George, and Noel. There'll be readings from Oscar Wilde, George Bernard Shaw, and Noel Coward. We've got some tragedy and comedy, mystery scenes we'll pull in. That's not Shakespeare, but we'll pull in from some interesting plays.
Okay.
Shakespeare on the Patio we're going to be doing this year.
Yeah.
And we're going to wrap up the year with 'Tis the Season, a holiday celebration.
What is Angels in America?
That was a Pulitzer Prize-winning play by Tony Kushner.
Oh, okay.
So that's got won several awards, of which I know the Pulitzer Prize, and I think it won a Tony as well.
Okay.
So we'll do some scenes from that.
Great.
But the interesting thing about the lineup is they are predominantly staged readings. So we hold auditions that we advertise in the Globe. There are rehearsals, and they are enacted, but you don't have to memorize. You're expected to know your lines, obviously, really well. But I find I tend not to be on the stage, so I'm the audience. And I find that when someone's acting really well and it's a good story, you don't even see they're carrying a piece of paper. You're just in the moment.
Right.
And there are lots of parts throughout here. So it's both a variety for the audience and also for people who are coming in who haven't acted before or haven't done it since school or think they might like to, or they want to get involved in the production side, because every show, however big or small, needs direction and production to some extent, or some props maybe. So there's a role for everybody, which is what I think is so interesting about this.
No, that's great, and you have such a good variety too, so it'll appeal to just about anybody.
Yeah, the planning team has gone all out on this year.
No, and you guys have a good time doing it too. You make it sound really fun. So
we do.
Yeah,
we do.
And you guys have a good time. All right, well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
for the information. I appreciate it, and good luck to you guys in your broadcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thanks. And if you want any information about the podcast that we talked about, you can always go to ocoldpros.org and listen up on your phone, or you can listen online. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village television. Grease for peace.
And welcome back. With me right now is the General Sales Manager of Capistrano Toyota down there in San Juan Capistrano. I'd like to welcome Sean Mosley. Sean?
Hi, how are you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, great to have you here today. And I think a lot of people know about Capistrano Toyota. In fact, when Sean was here and walked in, where's the baby? Right? But we all know that, the Hogans.
They're all home with the Hogans right
Yes,
now.
Yeah. And I love the story on that, that whenever they get, maybe a new offspring, they become the new face of it,
The new
right?
face of the dealership.
Yes,
Excellent.
Kids get older and they're, well, sorry.
Absolutely.
But it's great. It's a great family-run operation. And, you know, one of the main reasons that you're here today is trade-ins on
Correct.
cars. And in this community, of course, a lot of times people maybe stop driving, or I think quite often too, they might have had 2 vehicles where they used to live. They come here, they don't need that anymore. And, you know, people wonder, what can I do with that? They would like to get top dollar for it, and this is where you step in, right?
Well, you know what? It's a great program for your community here. And what it is, we will come to them and appraise their car. A lot of people have cars that are sitting on the side that are not running or not quite ready to drive, or they couldn't drive them. And we're very, very happy to come out, give us a call. You can bring it to us. There's no pressure, and we'll be happy to come give them a number on the car, and if they like the number, we'll bring them back a check and take their car.
Now, what about older vehicles? Vehicles that maybe aren't Toyotas, or maybe they're 10, 12 years old. Will you come out and where they can bring the car there and look at anything, or do you have a certain set years?
That's the beauty of it. Any car, any model, any year. I'll come take a look at it. If everything's got a value, I'm always proud to put a number on it.
Okay, that's really good, because I think so many times people don't know what to do. They don't want to sell it themselves. That can become a hassle with you know, the registration, license, and all that kind of thing. Now, you know, you just said that you'll come to them. Is that right?
Absolutely. Just call our number, and we'll be happy to schedule an appointment, and we'll come to your house and take a look at your vehicle. It might take a day for us to schedule. I'll be happy to come out.
And that's very convenient, because sometimes people do not drive anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're here for the community.
So what's the process like? What do you folks look for? What do you go through? Like you said, it might take a little time, a day.
Well, what we do for our process, we're happy to go ahead and take your name and number if you want us to come to your home.
Okay.
If you want to come to the dealership, we're available all the time.
All right.
But I want to take time out and do the job right for you. So what I'll do is I'll schedule the appointment for the following day. I'll come see you at a certain time that we set up. I'll be happy to look at your car and give an appraisal, see how it runs, the body, things like that, much like I would if I'm buying your car personally.
Okay.
And we're very fair on our prices. So I look at Kelley Blue Book and how it runs and everything, and you know, we want some cars. And I know they have some great cars out there in your community that we could use.
And this is so even if they're not going to buy from you. They're not trading in a car. You're talking about, hey, I don't need to drive anymore. I don't want another car.
No obligation. You don't have to buy our car. We would love you to sell you a car.
Sure, of course.
But if that's the case and you want to buy a golf cart, it's all good.
All right. Now, what about if they have a loan balance on the car?
Well, that's the other part too. We'll be happy to pay off that loan balance. We'll give a figure. For instance, if it was $5,000 for your car and you had a $2,000 payoff, we'll give you a net check for $3,000 and pay the vehicle off.
Okay. So again, they're not worried about that. You get their information, who their finance company was for that vehicle, and you take care of it then.
That is correct. I'll call for the payoff. I'll give you the totals, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm going to throw you a little curveball here, only because what if someone has a personalized plate on that car and they want to keep it or maybe transfer it to the other cars? Can you folks help with that? I know that's not something that's on your list here, but I was curious because I have a personalized plate.
We have a DMV at our dealership. We'll be happy to go ahead and transfer the plate. And if you want to cancel a plate and keep it, we'll file a cancellation for you, and I'll bring your plate back to you along with your check.
All right, that's good, because you know I know people who like to do that. They want to keep it just even if they don't drive anymore. It's like kind of
sentimental.
Like yeah,
of course.
It is. I have a plate from years and years ago from an old vehicle that I love. So even though I don't use it anymore, I'd like to keep it. Well, Sean, with a big weekend coming up, someone can come down there and either see about selling their car to you or maybe purchasing a new one.
That's right. Come down anytime. But I want to tell you, every weekend's a big weekend at Capistrano Toyota. If you come down to the dealership, we're having great sales right now. If you wish to buy a car, I tell you what, we have the best selection of the year. And Toyota is very aggressive about financing. We have rates as low as 0% on some of the vehicles.
Wow.
And we have rebates up to $4,000.
Wow.
So you know
Very
what?
good.
Talk about a great time to buy a car.
Yeah, and of course with Toyota, you really run the gamut from if you just want a smaller personal vehicle to all the way up to a Tacoma and so on.
We have a car or truck for everybody's needs.
Yeah, Toyota certainly does, don't they?
Absolutely.
Now, what about, you know, some people want to come down and some people want to purchase Some people want to lease, and that's something you can help out with. Maybe talk through what's the differences.
Well, what we do at our dealership, we go ahead and we set up so you can see both what a lease would be and what a purchase would be for that vehicle that you have chosen. And we're happy to work up on multiple vehicles if you'd like. And then you can choose and pick your payment accordingly.
Yeah, that's nice. So if people are going, I can't decide between this model with this trim or whatever, you'll work up possible deals for all of them, and then they can pick and choose what they want.
That is correct. The only pressure at our dealership is in the tires.
Oh. Very good. I like that one. And again, if people have a vehicle that you no longer are using, you'd like to sell, they will help you out with that. The website, very easy, capitoyota.com, and the number is 949-276-6886. And Sean's down there, along with all the folks down there in Capistrano Toyota to help you out. And I've been down there myself. It's a nice experience.
Give us a call or come in and see us and come say hi.
Yeah. Sean, thank you very much for coming on. Pleasure to meet you. Hope to see you again.
I'm sure you shall.
Next time, bring one of the babies, maybe.
I probably will, and some donuts.
Oh, donuts. There you go. All right, we'll be right back.
#1 choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
The Friday movie is a good one called Blinded by the Light, and that will be airing at 2 and 7 p.m. And it's about a 1987 Briton. Javed Khan is a British Pakistani teenager from a strict family who learns to live his life, understand his family, and find his own voice through the music of American rock star Bruce Springsteen. So that stars Billy Barrett, Ronak Singh, Chadha Burgess, and Vivek Kalra. And again, that'll be on Friday, December 13th, and that's at 2 and 7 p.m. And then Angel Has Fallen will be our Monday movie at 2 and 6 p.m. So you'll have to maybe tune in tomorrow. We'll tell you about that one. All right, the two fun activities that we have going on for the holidays is we've got the 2019 Celebrity Series finale, and that's Ricky Nelson Remembered featuring the Nelson Sons. That'll be Tuesday, of course, December 31st, New Year's Eve. And there's two showings. There'll be one at 6 and one at 8:30 p.m. So that looks very fun, and you can always contact Recreation for information on that one. Then India Club of Laguna Woods has what's called the Welcoming Christmas. That's on December 19th, and that's at 5:30. It goes till 9:30, and that will be at Clubhouse 3 in Dining Room 2. All right, let's take a look at that weather. I hear no rain for quite some time, which, we're kind of happy about. Maybe every 2 weeks, as Ken indicated he liked. So every 2 weeks we have a little rain, and then the other 2 weeks we have lots of sunshine. So we got some mostly sunny today with evening clouds, 67, 48. Friday's looking really nice. Look at that, 71, 53, and by the weekend we're looking at sunny and mild, 72, 53. And then around town, North OC 67, San Diego 67s across the board, Big Bear 48, and Palm Springs 71. Mostly sunny all across the area. All right, so we've got, who do we have on tomorrow? We have Envision, Dr. Roof, and Auto Nation, Theater Guild, and then we have the India Club coming on again, who I'm sure will tell you a little bit more about the event that I just told you about. So don't forget, right after our morning newscast, we have the meeting that'll be coming up right at 9:30. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after, well, we won't be right back. We'll be right back with the meeting. Have a great day in the village, and we'll see you tomorrow.